Joining us now, television agree with Ray Parlour, former super middleweight world champion of the world, and a man who's a new show on the talkSPORT boxing YouTube channel, The Verdict. Carl Froch joins us now. Carl, a very good morning.
Morning, Carl.
Morning. How you doing? All right, guys?
Very good, Carl. I was enjoying your banter with George Groves earlier. We played a little clip of it in The Verdict. Very, very good. Now this one.
Thank you.
How do you see this one, Carl? Do you see Eubank getting back 1-1, or do you see Smith stopping him again?
It's boxing, so anything can happen, but I'm not going to sit on the fence. I think that Liam Smith goes in there and gives him another pasting, to be honest, similar to the first fight, because I don't see how you can come back from that. I mean, how can I sum it up? The Chris Eubank Jr. that I know and knew from doing close to 100 rounds of sparring with me, and also he went 12 rounds with George Groves. You know that this Chris Eubank Jr. is tough and strong. He can take a punch and is fit, and he's got the work rate and the ability to move forward and throw clusters of punches and do some damage in the boxing ring, in the professional boxing ring. But the Chris Eubank Jr. that we saw against Liam Smith, and I'm not taking anything away from Liam Smith, because Liam Smith caught him on the chin and hurt him, but I don't think that would have happened to the Eubank Jr. that I know. So if the old Eubank Jr. is back in good form and good shape, then I think he beats Liam Smith in a great fight. But I don't see how he can come back from that. I think the weight cut to 157, and then even now, later on in his career, what is he, 33, 34 years old, to make 160 pounds, which is the middleweight limit, I just think it's draining him and it's taking too much out of him. Yeah. So I just think Liam Smith is comfortable at the weight. He's got more boxing IQ. He's been in there with a better, I want to say, well, he fought Canelo, didn't he? I know he lost, but he's more confident and more experienced. So I just think Liam Smith knows what he's in against now. He knows he can hurt Chris Eubank Jr. And I think he'll take his time and be a little bit more poised, and then he'll get to Chris Eubank. And I think under pressure, Chris Eubank Jr. doesn't know what to do. We've seen that. He fell on the floor a couple of times. He was all over the place. He didn't take his second 8 count, which he should have done. And I just think that when they come together and they start exchanging blows, when Liam Smith hits him and hurts him and gets him in trouble, I think he'll get him out of there. But it's a 2-horse race. Anything can happen, as we know in boxing, and that's why we love the sport so much.
Carl, is this the end of the road if he does lose Chris Eubank Jr.?
I think so, but he's almost like a crossover type fighter, really, Chris Eubank Jr. He's never won anything, but he's got that name. And he's got quite a big social media following. So I think there'll always be something a little gimmicky for him. So maybe not even gimmicky, maybe a fight with Conor Benn in the future. That fight, I think, will always be there. So if there's money to be made for Chris Eubank Jr., I think he jumps in and tries to make that money, or makes that money, whether he wins or loses. So it will be the end of his serious professional boxing career in terms of world title ambitions, if he loses to Liam Smith tomorrow night, in my opinion.
Going back to George Groves, you're talking about Usyk, with Dubois. Do you think was Dubois robbed, or, was it a low blow in your opinion?
No, it wasn't robbed, because even if, let's just say it wasn't a low blow, and the referee, hang on, that's a minute. Let's say the referee called it not a low blow, and the referee started counting.
Yeah,
I think Usyk would have stood up in 8 seconds. I'm convinced he would have done. He'd have looked at the ref and thought to himself, "Why are you counting? I've been low blowed." Because it was a low blow. It was below the navel. We've had the arguments. You've heard my opinion on Froch on fighting on my channel. It was a low blow. Nobody can argue that. The rules are the rules. The referee saw it as a low blow. But Usyk got off the floor. All right, he got his 3.5, 4 minutes, whatever he took. But he climbed off the floor and still did the job. Even though he was clearly in pain, clearly physically impaired, he still did the job.
Yeah,
he backed up Dubois, outworked him, beat him up, dropped him at the end of round 8, and then finished him off with a solid jab in round 9. I don't think Dubois yet has got the heart. He's only 25 years old. He needs to develop the confidence and needs to develop that mindset of a winner and a champion, where you don't. I'm not saying he's a quitter, but the conversations I've gone on, he got hit with a jab, he went down on one knee, and he didn't beat the count. He wasn't looking at the referee. He was looking at his corner when he was on the floor. He needs to just grow and develop a little bit more as a professional. And I think he can be a great pro in the future. But he was beaten fair and square by the better man on the night in Usyk. And he can come again, Dubois.
talkSPORT Breakfast, waking you up Monday to Friday morning from 6 a.m. on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.